My boss laughed when he fired me in front of everyone. 3 days later, he called me crying. For context, I'd worked there for almost 3 years. I was the guy who stayed late, covered shifts, answered emails at midnight. Basically, the person everyone went to when something broke. A week before my vacation, my boss said, "Just keep your phone nearby in case we need you." I laughed because I thought he was joking. Turns out he wasn't. On day 4 of my vacation, I woke up to 14 missed calls. Then another 6 messages. "Client issue. Emergency. Need help ASAP," I replied. "I'm on approved vacation." 30 minutes later, my boss called. He sounded angry. He asked why I wasn't being a team player. I reminded him I was literally on vacation. His response? "If you're not committed to this company, maybe this isn't the place for you." When I got back Monday morning, he called me into a meeting room. HR was sitting there. 5 minutes later, I was fired. In front of everyone walking past the glass office. I packed my stuff. People wouldn't even make eye contact. Then 3 days later, I got a phone call from my boss. My boss laughed when he fired me in front of everyone. 3 days later, he called me crying, part 2. 3 days after firing me, my boss called me like nothing happened. He said, "Hey, we're having a small issue with the client system. Can you walk us through it?" I just sat there quiet for a second. This was the same guy who fired me in front of everyone. The same guy who said I wasn't committed. So I said, "I don't work there anymore." He laughed awkwardly and said, "Yeah, I know, but this would really help the team." Then he admitted the real problem. The client's entire reporting dashboard had stopped working, and nobody knew how to fix it, because I was the only one who maintained it, not because I wanted to be the only one. I had asked for months to train someone else. I sent emails, I made notes, I even offered to record walkthrough videos. My boss always said, "We'll deal with it later." Well, later had arrived. He asked if I could come in for one day. I said, "Sure. My consulting rate is 150 an hour, minimum 8 hours, paid up front." He went silent. Then he said, "That's ridiculous." So I said, "So was firing me during my approved vacation." And I hung up. 2 hours later, HR emailed me. They agreed to the rate. I went in the next morning, fixed the issue in 40 minutes, documented everything, and left. A week later, one of my old coworkers texted me. My boss had been removed from the client account, and the company ended up offering me my job back, with a raise. I told them no, because the best part about being fired was realizing I never wanted to go back.
Am I the asshole for ruining my sister's wedding after she tried to expose me? I'm 24F and my older sister Jenna is 29F. Growing up, Jenna was always the favorite. She was the athletic one, the pretty one, the one who got straight A's without trying. I was more introverted and honestly kind of awkward in high school, so my parents spent most of my childhood comparing me to her. When Jenna got engaged last year, my mom immediately volunteered me to help plan the wedding because I work in graphic design and have free time. I didn't really want to, but Jenna promised she'd pay me and said it would finally be something we do together as sisters. Big mistake. From the start, she treated me like unpaid staff instead of family. She'd call me at midnight demanding invitation revisions, change color palettes 3 days before print deadlines, and scream at me if I didn't answer fast enough. One time, she literally told me, "This wedding is the most important thing happening in anyone's life right now, including yours." I should've quit then, but I didn't because my parents kept pressuring me. My dad said, "You know how Jenna gets, just keep the peace." So I kept helping. Now here's where things get messy. About 2 months before the wedding, Jenna invited me over to her apartment for wine night. She got super drunk and admitted she'd been flirting with one of her fiancé's groomsmen for attention. She swore nothing physical happened, but she showed me texts between them, and honestly, they were bad. Like, definitely emotional cheating territory. I told her she needed to stop before she destroyed her relationship. She laughed and said, "Every married person cheats eventually anyway." That comment really stuck with me. Fast forward to the week before the wedding. I'm at my parents' house assembling welcome bags when Jenna suddenly accuses me of trying to sabotage her wedding because the hotel cards I designed had the wrong checkout time printed on them. It was literally the hotel's fault. They changed their policy after approval, but she exploded in front of our entire family. Then she dropped this bomb. She told everyone I was jealous because her fiancé rejected me years ago. I was stunned because that never happened. Her fiancé and I barely knew each other's before they started dating. But she kept going, saying I'd always competed with her for male attention, and my mom actually told me to apologize just to calm Jenna down. I snapped. I yelled that at least I wasn't emotionally cheating on my fiancé with his best friend. The room went silent. Her fiancé looked confused and asked what I meant. Jenna immediately started screaming at me, calling me a liar. But I pulled out my phone and showed him the texts she sent me 2 months earlier because I still had screenshots. He walked out. Jenna started crying hysterically, while my parents screamed at me for ruining the wedding. Apparently, her fiancé canceled everything the next morning and moved out of their apartment. Now my entire family is split. My dad says Jenna created her own mess, but my mom and aunts are furious because they think I should have waited until after the wedding to say anything. Jenna's friends are posting vague TikToks about bitter, lonely women ruining happy relationships, which I'm pretty sure is about me. The worst part is that the wedding deposits were non-refundable, so Jenna lost thousands of dollars. My mom says I destroyed my sister's future over one harmless flirtation, but honestly, if I were about to marry someone who talked like that behind my back, I'd want to know before the wedding. So, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for ruining my sister's wedding after she tried to expose me? Update. My sister tried to sue me after I exposed her before her wedding. Okay, I did not expect my first post to blow up like this, but a lot has happened in the last 3 weeks, and somehow it got even more insane. First off, Jenna found the post. Or at least one of her friends did, because I woke up to about 50 texts calling me a psychopath and family destroyer. My mom also accused me of airing private matters online, which is ironic considering Jenna has apparently been telling her version of the story to literally everyone in town. A lot of people asked why I still had screenshots of the texts. Honestly, because Jenna has a history of rewriting reality. When we were teenagers, she used to say awful things to me privately and then deny it later. So after years of being gaslit, I started keeping receipts. I know that sounds dramatic, but those screenshots are the only reason my family believed me at all. Anyway, here's the real update. Her ex-fiancé, who I'll call Mark, reached out to me a few days after the wedding got canceled. Not romantically, before anyone gets weird. He just wanted to know if there was more going on than the texts. And apparently there was. Mark told me Jenna had been acting suspicious for months. Hiding her phone, taking late-night walks, suddenly password protecting everything. He confronted the groomsmen involved, and the guy admitted they'd kissed multiple times during bachelor party planning. So, yeah. Definitely not harmless flirting. Apparently, Jenna only confessed after Mark already knew. She begged him not to leave because everyone would judge her if the wedding got canceled. But somehow I'm still the villain in my family. Then came the absolute craziest part. Last week, I got served with legal papers at work. Jenna is trying to sue me for the cost of the canceled wedding. I genuinely thought it was fake at first, but no. She hired some lawyer friend of a friend who apparently agreed to help her claim I caused intentional emotional and financial damages by exposing private communications maliciously. My coworker saw me crying in the parking lot because I've never been sued before, and honestly, it scared me to death. I contacted an attorney, and thankfully, he basically laughed after reading everything. Since the screenshots were real and I didn't fabricate anything, he says her case is probably garbage. Especially because she was the one who sent me the messages voluntarily. But now my extended family has gone nuclear. One aunt posted on Facebook that I destroyed a sacred union out of jealousy. My cousin uninvited me from her baby shower because she says I love drama. Even my grandmother told me family loyalty should come before honesty. The only people on my side are my dad and, weirdly enough, Mark's mom. And there's still another twist. 2 days ago, Jenna showed up at my apartment crying, like full breakdown mode. She admitted she never expected Mark to actually leave her and said she thought marriage would fix her need for validation from other men. For a second, I actually felt bad for her. Then she asked me to publicly lie and tell everyone I exaggerated the cheating because she thinks it'll help her reputation and maybe save her lawsuit. I said no. She immediately switched from crying to furious and told me I've always wanted her life, and that she hopes I end up alone forever. At that point, I just opened my front door and told her to leave. I haven't spoken to her since. So now my family says I should apologize to heal the family, but I genuinely don't know what I'd even apologize for anymore. Am I the asshole now?